Welcome to Slinging the Slang, a podcast where we tackle slang, jargon, and expressions, their origins, their meanings, everything from the funny to the ridiculous. I'm Slangman David Burke, author of 30 books on idioms and slang.
And I'm Monica Mauro, Director of Education for American English College in beautiful, sunny California. And I'm a lifelong lover of words.
So as we say in slang, let's get cracking. Make sure to tweet your questions and comments to @SlingTheSlang, and we will do our best to tackle those. So, since in a few days, what wonderful, exciting, wildly alive holiday is coming up, Monica? Halloween. So, in deference to Halloween, here's a new opening for Halloween. Little background change for you. So this is a Halloween opening, full of puns. Take thee to a punnery, as we say. Welcome to all you daddies and mummies out there. As Monica and I, who have been fiends for life, we are going to bring you...
David.
I know, they're awful, aren't they? We're going to give you a fantastic episode all about idioms and expressions having to do with Halloween. Creep it real.
Creep it real.
Yeah, I figured.
I didn't know when that was coming in, David.
I figured we just throw in everything in the kitchen sink, which we just did. So, speaking of puns and all sorts of Halloween punnery, before we talk about language having to do with Halloween, we do have some trivia that we've got to get out of the way, because this is some trivia that I'm going to test you, Monica, with. And I think the people at home watching and listening, they may not know the answer, but these are really interesting questions. Are you ready for your first?
I may not know the
question?
Answer, David.
I'm hoping you don't, because that way I can demean you because you didn't know. Okay, are you ready for number one? Trivia question number one.
I'm ready.
Okay. In 2021, what was the number one costume for boys and for girls? Boys first. What was the number one costume?
2021. Let's see. Dr. Fauci.
That's a good one. And you know what? I did have a Dr. Fauci last year, but no, I'll give you a hint. It's a guy who is like a bug. He crawls up walls and stuff, and he throws out webs and things like that. He has lots of legs.
Oh, a bug?
Spider-Man.
I don't believe this. I don't believe you.
Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man.
So he was number one in 2021. And guess which costume for boys? We'll get back to girls in a second. For boys, what is a boy's most popular costume in 2022? According to Google, the most Google searches for costumes for boys for this year.
For this year, another Marvel character?
Not only
can I ask for clues?
Well, yeah, actually, I'll give you a really good clue here. It's not just another one. It is the same one. Spider-Man is back.
Deja vu.
Deja vu. Speaking of puns. And okay, explain what deja vu is. Then we are going to talk about the number one costumes for girls. Okay, what is deja vu in today's vernacular?
I just read that deja vu is some trending phrase right now that means that you've recycled your old Halloween costume. So it's a play on words. Deja vu, deja vu. And I am deja vuing it this year.
How so? What are you wearing again?
Are you kidding, with hair like this? I'm always a witch.
Which, by the way, okay, well, you just kind of segued back. That is the number one costume for girls in 2022. But which witches, see, I just give you a clue. Which witches are they? The most popular costume.
Is it from Hocus Pocus?
From Hocus Pocus, exactly. So even though you're deja vu with Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker.
Jessica Parker.
Kathy Najimy.
Who's the third?
Kathy Najimy. Love Kathy Najimy.
Yeah.
So even though you're deja vuing, you're also very, very cool and hip, according to Gen Zs, because they're the ones who are saying deja vu. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few other trivia questions, and we'll see if anybody else out there can answer them. Okay, and I didn't know the answer to this until I looked it up. A pumpkin, is it a fruit or a vegetable?
Okay, well, wait. It has seeds, so it
Very
has to be
good.
fruit.
Has to be a fruit, but I always thought it was a vegetable, didn't you? Or a gourd, which I just assumed was like a different category. But yes, you are right. Ding, 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 ding. It is a fruit.
Woo! What do I win? What do I win?
Oh, you win my admiration, but not totally. You have 3 more to go. Then you totally win my admiration. Okay,
Okay.
number 3. Can you name? Okay, because I know you, Monica. I know what is your number 1 favorite candy for Halloween.
You want me to say it?
Yes.
Candy corn.
Okay, so candy corn is your number 1 favorite candy, but
It's my
can you-
guilty pleasure.
Yeah, no, that was my dad's favorite candy also. Okay, but what are the colors from the bottom to the top?
Oh,
you know?
orange, yellow, white.
Orange, yellow, white. Very good. Okay, you're legit. You really do love cotton candy. See, I'm thinking cotton candy because that's like one of my favorites. But yes, candy corn. Oh, and this is really weird. Did you know that candy corn had a different name way back, like in the 40s? It wasn't called candy corn. It was called something else. Do you know what?
Okay, this is where I'm going to lose your admiration, but I'm going to take a stab at it.
Take a good Halloween slang. Take a stab at it.
And
You just can't
I'm gonna
help
say
yourself, can you?
corny candy.
Oh, that was so out there. No, what does candy corn look like? Looks like chicken feed. So it was called
Oh,
chicken
yeah.
feed. Chicken feed. Okay, the last one. What are 3 other vegetables that have been carved on Halloween traditionally? And I didn't know this
Okay.
because I don't carve these.
Okay, I'm going to say a gourd,
Okay, you
and
can
I'm
say
going
it.
to say pumpkins, gourds, and squash.
Okay, you are absolutely 100% wrong, but that's okay because I was wrong too. Potatoes, beets, and turnips?
Oh my!
I haven't seen that before, but
I can't
okay.
picture that.
I can't picture that either. But I have to admit that that would be scary. Okay, well, speaking of scary, so since Halloween is all about scary things, there are a lot of slang words and expressions having to do with scary things and things that are dead. So if you have any expressions that come off the top of your head, please let us know at Sling the Slang. Tell us what you got. Oh, we've already got a tweet here right away. Okay, someone's thinking. Okay, from Sabina in New York. Sabina, love your name. So why do we
Hey,
say boo to scare someone? Good question. Do you have
Yeah,
an
that's
answer?
a really good question.
And you know what? I do have an answer for that, Sabina. I actually do know why. I did lots of research on Halloween sayings and words and why we say them, where they came from. So boo just happens to be the perfect combination of the right consonant b, because when you say b, your lips are shut, and oo gets all the air out. So boo just is the most startling sound that we could think of making. But wait, Monica, you and I were talking about that word, about boo, because
Yes.
it isn't just used to scare people. What else do we use?
No, it
for?
isn't. Well, it used to be a trending word for your boyfriend, my boo.
That's right, my boo. And do you know why?
That I don't know, David, but David, I have a feeling you know.
Well, off the top of my head, I do. Because boo, if you bring your lips together, my boo, beau, my beau, my beau. So in French,
Oh,
my
right.
my
Oh, I thought you
beau.
were going to say kiss. I thought you were going to say something to do with a kiss.
And baiser. No, mon beau. So beau means handsome and beautiful. But way back, I think like in the 20s and 30s, they were saying, this is my beau, like my boyfriend. So my beau became my boo. So remember,
Thank
it's
you,
slang.
David.
Well, it's what I'm here for, Monica. We're always updating older words, and so my beau, I just got too old. So the collective brain of those who love slang just changed it to my boo. And now that we're talking about it and divulging that, I'm sure it'll change in the next 5 minutes. The Gen Z.
Well, I think it just changed. I think I just heard the change.
It's no longer boo already. It's something completely different to really confuse us, which I do love how Gen Z does that all the time. They try to confuse us. In fact, one of the things I heard that's really confusing, to be broke, I'm broke. We think of it as being I'm poor, but Gen Z thought, no, we'll make it mean I'm ugly. So if somebody says to you, I'm broke, and a Gen Zer says, yeah, you sure are, you've just been slammed without even realizing it, because now it means to be ugly. At least it did. It just changed. Now it means something else because we just divulged it. Okay. That's how slang works. It keeps changing. Tweet here. We've got a tweet from Julia.
Tweet.
From San Antonio, from down south, from Texas. Oh, where does dead ringer come from? Oh, where do you think, Monica? Dead ringer.
Well, I think it's a sports slang that has to do with horseshoes.
Very good.
You know, because you throw it at the ring. Woo!
Exactly.
I could be dead wrong.
Oh, wow! You see, you're in the zone. You're in the Halloween zone. Well, actually, you're right. A dead ringer means something or someone who looks exactly like something else. But actually, you're right. It did come from horses. But back in the 19th century, what happened is, and I even looked this up because I wanted to know, it originated at the horse races in the 19th century. Okay, when a horse that would be raced under a false name and pedigree, that was called a ringer or a dead ringer, because if they didn't win, something bad could happen to them. So, and that's where they came up with the expression to beat
Dead ringer.
Dead ringer.
And to beat what?
To beat a dead horse.
My husband gets to hear me beat the dead horse every day. Yeah.
To beat a dead horse. You know, my niece, she can't stand any expression that hurts animals. So she doesn't say to kill two birds with one stone. She says to save two ships with one lighthouse. Is that beautiful or what? She made that up. I love that. We're gonna save these two ships with one lighthouse. So that's what I'm going to use.
I'm going to just remember that. Yes,
Isn't that nice that nice and gentle? This comes from a really good big heart. Oh, Lauren from Visalia. Since Halloween, Visalia. Oh, I love Visalia. Up north from us here in Los Angeles.
Up north, yeah.
Since Halloween is around the corner. Ooh, how about this one?
Okay.
To ghost someone. Or to get ghosted. Now that's fairly new, but do you know what that means? To get ghosted?
Oh yeah.
It's something you don't want.
To say it?
Yes, tell me what that means. To get ghosted.
Well, it means when you are seeing someone, or you think you are, and you're texting back and forth and everything's cool, and then all of a sudden they don't text you anymore or email you anymore. They're gone. They're ghosts.
They're ghosts. But here's something new. What if I were to say to you, did you get zombied? That's something new in 2022, to get zombied. And it's very clever. Well, it's really clever. I mean, these Gen Zers are really thinking it through. And their slang is not just frivolous. They're really thinking about it. So to get zombied means you got ghosted. But then guess what? A few weeks or months later, that person who ghosted you comes back and wants to continue the relationship. You've been zombied.
Oh, right.
Because they came back from the dead.
If you fall for it.
That's right. Well, and that's why being zombied is exactly that. You've been ghosted. That person was dead, and they've kind of come back from the dead, and now they want to date you again. To be zombied. Clever, right?
I love that.
You got to give them kudos for that. Okay. Oh, we have another one here. Tom from Brooklyn says, I'm a Gen Z myself. Okay. And we use dead, to mean something else. Okay. Okay. This is really interesting. So, you know how we say, I am dead. Now.
Yeah. So I think you're tired, right? You're tired.
That's how I would use it. No, he's saying that I'm a Gen Z and we use dead to mean funny. I'm dead. It means I'm dying of laughter. And in fact, the emoji that goes with it is a skull. Okay, so they put a skull next to something. If they're texting somebody and they say something funny, they'll put a skull or send a skull back to you, which means I'm dying with laughter.
Oh, well, I'm glad you told me that, because if someone just started sending me skulls, I would think that they were like missing the wrong emoji, I think
Or
you're
they're
hitting the wrong emoji there.
or you're really ticking someone off, as we say in slang. When I think of dead, I think of other expressions like dead tired, dead drunk, dead end, dead beat. I don't think of dead to mean funny, but I guess I will now. If you're a non-native speaker of English and want to learn more slang and idioms, have we got something for you? Make sure to check out my Slangman books at www.slangman.com.
We hope you join us next time as we take another deep dive into the ever-growing, ever-changing world of slang.
And make sure to join us every Thursday for Throwback Thursdays, where we take a look at some of the most hilarious slang used throughout the decades. I'm Slangman David Burke.
And Monica Mauro. We look forward to chilling with you as we sling
the slang. Thanks for being with us. See you next time.